Hello, welcome back to Educator.com. Today we're going to talk about grading skills. So the test is going to be about grading skills. First of all, we need to know how to embrace it. This part of the exam is going to be testing our skills to communicate ourselves in a grading way. So we're going to have two different kind of situations. First, we're going to have an interpersonal grading where we're going to be answering an email, and then we're going to have a presentational grading. Both of them are going to be proving our task. And it's not only going to be about grading, it's also going to be about reading, for example, reading comprehension. The total part of this part, of the grading part, it's at 25% of the total score of the exam. Then, this means that each part of it, the interpersonal and the presentational, each one of them are 12%, 12.5%. There is a natural transformation where you can score that part from 0 to 5. So you can have a better knowledge of how are you scoring the exam. Remember that in the other part where we were going through the scoring of the exam, we had a different kind of punctuation that were from 0, that it's poor, to 5, that is strong. So that's another point of it's another punctuation for the exam that would become different word, but it's also value. Then we have to always remember in this part that one of the main things that are gonna be challenging us to prove is the critical thinking skill. What does this mean? Okay, critical thinking, it's our ability to analyze what we have in front of us, to be able to take out the main ideas, to understand them, and not to get confused with secondary ideas that are there to actually get us confused. Also, we have to make sure that with this critical thinking, we are able to understand the lexicon that is used on the text, as well as we are able to use the right lexicon. This means correct verbs, correct genders. We have to be able as well to use the right language structures. Of course, it's fine if you use simple structure, but remember, in the scoring of the exam, one of the rubrics was your ability to use a complex language structure. This means not only simple tenses, but also complex tense. This can be simple structure or compound sentences. As far as you keep being clear with your language, you're gonna be hiring forward towards a higher score. Also, one of the main things and one of the main rubrics is your knowledge of Spanish. The knowledge of Spanish is basic. If you write a good email, but you don't prove that you control what you're talking about, that you don't have any kind of reference of the culture from Spain or from other Spanish culture, then you are not proving one of the main part in this exam, that is knowing about the Spanish culture. As I told you before, we have to be able to prove that we are able to communicate by grading, and it's not only by writing an email, but also being able to synthesize the main ideas from the sources and to being able to build up on them. We don't have to be quoting the ideas that we get from the sources. We have to be able to understand them and then, with our own words, reflect them. With our own point of view, or with our own details that are not coming out from the source, but from our knowledge, from our summary of vocabulary that we have been preparing as we were getting ready for the exam. At the end, then, you have to make sure that you have a list with the details that you want to check and that you are sure about what you are grading, so the reader is going to be clear about the idea that you want to show him, and that the email is a coherent answer to the first one that you actually received. And, of course, that you are following a topic and the ideas are clear about it.